So this video is for Bol.com sellers who want to get more out of their data, which is pretty limited and pretty hidden, to be honest. So my name is Mario. I've been a seller on Bol.com for about 5-6 years. During that time, I started doing automations to get more data out of Bol.com into my own hands. From that point, I started developing more and selling on Bol.com less, to the point where I focused only on the software, automations and AI. I have been building and working around the Bol.com API for 1.5 years on the software and even more time as an active seller. So I would say about 2.5 years. So what is Bol.com? Bol.com is a platform where sellers and buyers are united together. And as a seller, you can make use of the millions of people that are already shopping and have an account and a payment method ready to purchase products. So what is an API? An API is simply just something that connects A to B. The thing that's in between, that is the API. Every service you know online, even Bol.com, use these APIs to connect to other things. For example, you have the Bol.com platform where someone places an order and you want to send an email. The thing that gets the order to send an email is the connection between, which is the API, where data follows through from A to B. So what information can you load with the Bol.com API? Well, actually, there are multiple kinds of APIs from Bol.com. One of them, and the biggest one, is the retailer API. You can use that to load orders, to load products, to load sales insights, to load return insights. But you can also use one of the other APIs. One of them is the advertising API, in which you can load all the information from sponsored products. So what's nice to know is, what is an API handy for? Like, why should you use an API, and specifically the API from Bol.com? So you can do that for the things that are hard to do. For example, if it's a lot of information, you don't want to do that manually, you want to use something that's automated. If it needs to be done frequently, you want to have it done automatically. So pretty much anything that's hard to do manually, you want to use an API for. Alright, so it's time now to tell you about some fun use cases that you can use to get more data out of Bol.com and turn it into actual value for your business. So for the first ID, what you can do is you can use the orders API endpoint, and from those orders you can see, of course, the customer information, but also if a company has placed an order. And if a company has placed an order, you will get the company name. And with that company name, you can do a few things, but you can potentially contact that company and see if they want to work together, see if they want to place an order. There's many things possible. So that is the first point where you can get more value out of the existing data that already is collected by Bol.com. Another use case that you can automate is when you have a shipment announced to LFB, the all-in-one logistics service from Bol.com, similar to Amazon FBA. You can announce a shipment to there with products inside. Once that shipment has arrived and has been processed, but not all products have been added to the current stock, then you can get notified. And that's actually something we also built in our software, but you can also build it yourself. And what happens is, when those products or that shipment has been marked as done, but those products have not been accounted to the actual stock levels, when you get a notification, which can be like a notification on your phone or in Slack or whatever, then you know it instantly and you can take action upon that. So you can even send an automated email to the partner service. They respond not as quickly, so it's better to call, but you can get notified instantly, and that's indeed valuable. So a third use case is using, again, the orders endpoint, where you can get the orders and order items. And inside of there is the customer information, such as name, so first name, last name, gender, address, etc. You can use that to get information that you can use for ads or a customer avatar. There are some rules with it, and I will discuss those later in this video, so better keep watching. So a fourth use case is combining multiple APIs together. So we can use the Bol.com retailer API and combine that with other APIs such as PostNL or DHL to get quickly notified when shipping times take longer than expected. It's mostly relevant when you have your own warehouse, but even if you use a fulfillment partner, you can stay up to date instead of waiting passively and then finding out 1 or 2 weeks later that you are getting a strike because this fulfillment center has messed up and not communicated it to you. So to fix that reliability on the specific communication, you can also take matters in your own hands and make sure you are notified instantly and are up to date daily, especially in high seasons. So for the fifth option, what you can do is you can get the Bol invoice specification and get all of it or certain parts of it. For example, you can look at the specific storage cost per product, which is not or hardly visible in the Bol.com dashboard. And you can use the API for it, or you can use the Excel sheet from the invoice specification for it. Both is possible, depends on how much volume it is. Is it too much volume? It's better to use an API. Is it not as much volume, so not as many rows? It's better to use an Excel sheet. So for the sixth example, I'm going to keep it pretty open and leave it up to your imagination. But once you have certain information, let's say you have my first name, my last name, and where I'm from, you can look me up online, such as LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, maybe some other communities, and you can enrich my profile that you already have with more information so you can get a better understanding of who I am, and you can see if I am your customer avatar. You don't have to do that for many people. If you do that for a few people, you can get a better understanding of who a target audience is, and you can act based upon that. So one of the things I should tell you about is that there are also rules on how you can process data and how you can store data. So you cannot be reckless with the data you are processing and storing, especially since it's personal data. For example, what ChatGPT does, or OpenAI does, the parent company of ChatGPT, they will get your data and they will use it for 30 days. They will get insights from that data, and after those 30 days, they will remove that data. And that doesn't matter that they remove the data, because all the things they need to know, they already know with the data. So you can apply the same principle that big tech is using to get more out of your Bol.com data. So now you know how to get more data out of Bol.com and use it to grow your business. If you found this video interesting, leave a like, leave a comment. If you have a question, send me a message and we can always talk. If you want to subscribe, that would help and mean a lot to me. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.